Hi, this is Frederic Balonier, and you're watching the Permanent Rain Press.
Hi everyone, it's Chloe with the Permanent Rain Press. Today I'm happy to be joined by Frederic Balonier. How are you?
Thank you for having me. I'm good. How are you, Chloe?
I'm doing well. We were just talking about the time difference. So I'm just starting my day over here, but you're like midway through your day.
I
I'm glad that the weather's getting warmer where you're at in
Yeah,
Germany.
yeah. Usually cold, but especially in Berlin, we have very warm summers, so I'm glad about that.
I'm sure a lot of hopefully activities you have planned, things like that this summer.
Sure, sure. Actually, I'm trying to get on more festivals, so this is my plan. I haven't been to too many, but Germany has a lot of very huge festivals that I want to visit. Have you heard about the Fusion or Splash or any of that? It's very crazy. I've been last year. I've been to Splash. It's like 50,000 people. It's like this rap hip hop festival. So
Wow.
yeah, these are the
So like
bands
what
for.
kind of bands did you say? Like it's a big music festival?
Yeah, it's a big Splash and Fusion is both big music festivals.
What kinds of genres, or is it all over?
Well, Splash is hip hop and rap. I've been last year, and the Fusion is more techno and house, like electronic music.
Seems like it would be a big party.
Yeah, yeah. I'm Actually, I know the daughter of one of the founders of the festival, so it's a shame that I haven't been yet.
I was gonna say you have a bit of a connection to get into the
I do.
festival.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, hopefully you get to attend. But I'm excited. I hope that maybe you'll start filming the second season of a particular show that we'll get into in just a bit. But before that, what can you share about your background in the arts and what sparked that passion in you?
That's a very good question. I always had that spark, and I always told my parents like I want to be an actor, but did I really believe it at first when I was a child? Not really. And then I kind of swooshed into the industry. My ex-girlfriend, she was actually in an agency, and randomly this agency was like two blocks like right next to me, and then she was telling me all about her projects and like the money she got, and like that it's the best job ever. And then I kind of fell into that and tried to apply there, and it was then I had my first project. This all came in like 1 week. So I went there, I wanted to take part in this, and then 1 week after I had the contract and the castings and then the first project. And it was crazy how life changed. And you know, ever since I've done my first project, I was like, I am going to become an actor. This is the best job ever. Like I can do anything, everything, and you meet so many people. And as you said, maybe one day I can shoot in Canada. So this is like the dream of coming around, meeting new people and creative minds. Yeah, so this was the moment when I knew, like from the first project on.
This was what year?
This oh I was 16, so it was no, actually I was 15, and this was 2016 then.
Yeah, and it's so exciting about, the creative field. Projects can take you anywhere. Like you mentioned, you love to meet new people. Do you have any professional training in film? Like, how have you been able to kind of study and grow your craft?
Yeah, I went to Cologne to go to a film acting school. It's called the EAF, International Academy of Film. And yeah, that was a very, very, very great time. And actually, one of the cast members, Andrea, she was also, I think, in the same time period, she was also in Cologne, but in another school. So there's like two schools that are very renomated in Cologne, and she went to the other one. So we didn't meet there, and then yeah, we met on set.
It's kind of nice to have that connection, even though you're like, we didn't cross paths while we were kind of in school there. But that's
Yeah,
really interesting to hear, and I'm glad you kind of got that training. What were some important lessons that you took away from your time there that you've kind of been able to take into your different film and TV projects?
I mean, for everyone, it's different, I think. One method that really stuck with me is Ivana Chabak, and she works with actions and beats and inner monologues, and I really love to work with that. But other than that, yeah, there's a lot of practitioners that I really, I really appreciate. Stella Adler or Stanislavski. I also in school really learned about the theory behind it and was never that interested. But once I got to the acting school, and could actually act it out and try different things, just to get in the space of creating every day was for personal growth very important for me.
It's really interesting to kind of learn the technical side as well and go through the exercises because I'm sure it only like helps you develop and helps you get into future characters.
Yes.
Who are some of your like acting inspirations? Do you have any that you can list? Like, what were some of your favorite films growing up? Because I find it a bit fascinating that for you, it kind of started a bit later in life. Like you mentioned, you only started pursuing this at age 16, 15, but I'm sure you had some kind of favorites growing up.
I say this all the time. My dream role is Captain Jack Sparrow. This Johnny Depp in that role, it's just the character he's created and the body language and everything, it's just coming together, and to have this whole world, this was always an inspiration, because I never questioned his performance, even though it was like so weird what he was doing. It was just, it fitted him so perfectly. And I think especially for Maxton Hall, this is what I'm trying to do as well. He has a very different body language, and he's he's kind of a nerd, but for his reality, it's really real, and it's not, it's not supposed to look out of place. And this is the kind of, it's a cool example, I think, for that role.
Definitely. And I love that movie franchise as well. Which was your favorite Pirates of the Caribbean movie?
Got to be the first one. It's the class OG.
Was it the
The
curse
Black
was the Curse of the Black Pearl
the
was the
Curse of the
first
Black
one?
Pearl. Yes, yeah.
Are you hoping that I know that there's other things going on in his life that might prevent him from doing future movies, but yeah, that will always be such a good, I think, franchise. Like the music was also so good
Oh my God,
in
the
this.
music. I think soundtrack is so important too. Like for our show as well. I love the soundtrack. I actually listen to it in my free time, and this just boosts a show or a movie so much. And
Yes,
yeah, I
Hans
love the,
Zimmer, right?
yes, yes, true. He's German as well. I was like, this the soundtrack of the Pirates of the Caribbean, unmatched.
You've been acting steadily since 2019, around that time. So, which project has been the most significant in your career so far, and why? As terms of like something that's taught you a lot about the industry, maybe something that you've learned more about yourself and grew as an actor.
Well, I mean, for my career, it has to be Maxton Hall, because the way it just blew up was crazy, and no one expected it at first, but then it became reality, and it was also my first streaming project. But after that, I also had very significant projects. For example, the Three Detectives. It's in Germany. There was an audio book about it first, and it's very famous. And it was also really cool to get into that genre. And I think what I really love, Maxton Hall, it's drama, enemy to lovers, romance genre. I love to just play every different genre. This is why I would love to play a pirate or like something in that realm. It's like the Three Detective. It's children, like a kids genre, and that was very fun. I was playing a villain there, and that was also just very different from other things I've done. And yeah, and another significant project that's hopefully coming out this year is Where's Wanda? It's the first German Apple series. So yeah, this is gonna be exciting. So we'll see. There's also some big German actors' names in it, and I'll really be looking forward if it blows up like Maxton Hall or maybe just national. I don't know. We're gonna see.
Apple, so it's gonna be like another streaming series that you'll be a part of.
Yeah, it's the first German Apple series
So
that's
you
gonna come
filmed
out
that in
this year.
Germany. Can you share anything about it, or is it kind of like under wraps still?
No, I think I can share something. I'm not sure. I don't want to be the Tom Holland of Germany, like spilling stuff. But it's
What is
about
out there? Yeah, what's out there already?
yeah
You don't
yeah
have
yeah
to get
yeah.
into your character, but
No. So the genre is also very interesting. I think it's dark comedy. So it's actually a very serious topic because a girl gets kidnapped around a neighborhood that's described very American. Like this kind of neighborhood, everyone knows each other. And then the girl gets kidnapped. So the show is called Where's Wanda? So Wanda gets kidnapped, and then the family starts doubting the neighborhood, and the police don't seem to get anywhere. So the family tries to get the matters in their own hand, and silly stuff gets revealed all the time about the neighbors. But I can't. I don't think I can tell you what happens, but just silly stuff happens. So this is where the comedy genre gets in. Still, though, it's like a kind of dark, genre because a girl is actually in danger, and there's a villain behind the story.
it seems very like high stakes. It seems really intriguing, so I'm excited to check that out and
Yeah, you
hopefully
should.
see your face in it as well.
Yeah.
Something else that's very cool is you are an anime fan. I know you've
Oh my God,
cosplayed before. So
you have done your homework.
how did this passion start, and what do you like about anime?
How did this passion start? I mean, I'm a diehard anime fan. Like, we used to watch it as a kid in TV. Then reignited this passion when I was again like 14, 15 in school when everything. I did the IB. Do you know what that is? The International Bachelor. Yeah, it's very, very highly academic, very stressful uh, school regime, and just to get myself through this, I had the world of anime, and I always loved fantasy and new worlds, and yeah, I mean, right now I'm still a diehard anime nerd. It's crazy. I watch everything.
Which are some of your favorites?
Oh, good question. So Hunter x Hunter is probably always going to be one of my favorites, and I mean, it's not very niche, but like Attack on Titan, I think is peak fiction, and also very huge One Piece fan. But for example, an anime that maybe not everyone knows, Cyberpunk Edge Runners. Do you know that one?
I'll
I
have
think
to
it won
check it out.
anime of the year award 2022 or 2023. And with this anime as well, like the soundtrack is amazing. It's amazing, and the story too. And it just has one episode, one season, so you can binge watch it as well. Yeah, I really like that one. Cyberpunk Edge Runners. It all has the cyberpunk world.
What's so cool about anime is it's such like rich storytelling, and you mentioned like fantasy, like escape into these vibrant new worlds. So One Piece, unfortunately, I haven't gone through the manga yet, but I know Netflix did an adaptation. I was a big fan of that adaptation. Were you a
Oh my
fan?
god. Yeah, I was actually kind of disappointed they didn't ask me to to join the
Was
cast
it open
because
casting, or did you
you
ever
already know now I want to be a pirate, and I'm a big anime fan, so One Piece would this is like my dream show. But also I'm very skeptical of anime adaptations, and I was very pleasantly surprised how it turned out because I really enjoyed it, and I'm very picky about uh, adaptations.
It can be a hard thing because I mean there's just such a good essence about, these characters on the page that when you bring them to life, they don't always like mesh well. So I
You
mean,
have these
fair
high
enough.
expectations there, and it's the same with Avatar: The Last Airbender, which is actually my also favorite show. It's we used to watch it as a kid. I'm a huge fan, and yeah, the stakes are high when you want to create that adaptation. It's the same for Maxton Hall. The books were out; they're very popular, so we already have this community that we want to respect and please. So yeah, it's not
It's a
easy,
lot of
but
pressure, but I
it's a
think
lot of
that
pressure. But
you're
I think
handling it well.
sure, yeah. I mean, we're getting positive feedback, so that helps. The support is crazy, and we appreciate everyone.
So for Avatar, I know you've cosplayed as Zuko before. Was that your favorite Avatar
Really,
character?
really done your homework now. Yeah, no, it's my favorite. He's my favorite character in the show because of his redemption arc. It's really, really well written character.
Yeah, and then it's really cool to see the relationships grow too, because like him and Uncle Iroh and like the
Yeah.
journey that they go on is yeah. I don't know if you were a fan of the Netflix show, but I did watch it because it actually filmed in Canada, although you can't tell. But I thought that
Really?
his actor did really well in the Uncle Iroh, so I'm looking forward. I think they have two more seasons, like the how the series goes as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I haven't finished it. I've started it, and I have this group of friends, and we used to do Avatar marathons, where we just binge watch the cartoon, the original, and we want to come together to watch the live action. So I'm saving myself for that. But I mean, this gives me very much hope that you say that because he's my favorite character. So I'm glad that he did a good job.
Well, we will get into your show now, Maxton Hall, The World Between Us. But for all those watching, I will note we are discussing spoilers, so please make sure you've watched season
Hmm.
one before continuing. You star as Kieran Rutherford. What can you share about your audition process and what drew you towards this project?
This audition process was actually very different to anything I've done before because first of all, we didn't know what we were auditioning for. So it had a secretive like work title. It was called did you know about this? It was called
It's a
Stuart
different school, right? Yeah.
yeah, Stuart College. And I think only Damien figured out that it was a book adaptation. And I don't know how he did it, but I think he knew. And yeah, we were all cast for the main role. So right, I was casting as James Bulford, the huge, big, huge confidence guy, always gets the girls. So then they gave me the part of the little nerd that doesn't get. They gave me the part for the complete opposite. So I don't know what that tells you about me being as an actor. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, it was actually very fun. It was a fun process, and I think I had like three rounds, and then the last round, like the first two were for James, and then the last one was for Kieran, and this was the vibes were already pretty good. Like with the directors, that I love both of them. They're now Martin. He's a great guy. He always says keine Feier ohne Schreier because his last name is Schreier, and in German, it's German, and it means no party without screamer, like without. it's his sentence that he always brings. Yeah, I love the guy, and yeah, this is then I got the part, and then everything was great.
When you were going through those James auditions, like, did they kind of tell you no, or during that process, did they say, "Oh, we think you'd be a better fit for another character"? Like, how
Yeah,
did it switch from James to Kieran?
well, they just I received an email that they wanted to see me for another role, that they liked me, but as you said, they thought they saw a better fit for me. And they were right because I left the part.
At least you didn't have to be like too disappointed during the process because I can imagine like for some people in different projects, they kind of hear a no and then they kind of forget about the project for a bit until they're brought back. But for you, it was
Yeah.
kind of a continuous process.
Yeah, no, I didn't receive an actual like rejection. It was more like, hey, that was nice, but why don't you try this role? And I mean, they did an absolute fantastic job in casting. I think everyone was so perfect, and they were doing so great. So they did their job very, very well.
I think it's easy to say that now, like looking back and
Yeah.
seeing all these actors in their roles. And I did think that you did so well as Kieran in his moments, which we'll talk about in just a bit. But I know that you were not familiar with Mona Caston's Save Me book series before the show. So once you were cast, or even during the audition process, did you read the books to familiarize yourself with the plot and the theme? Like, what stood out to you from the story?
No, I must confess, I haven't read the books. But this is also because Kieran is like literally he has so little time in there, and also I don't know. What really helped me was just doing my thing on set and just creating a character for my own and not being confused by anything that's written in the book, because in the book the role is really very, very, very minor. I don't even what I heard. I mean, I haven't read it. I must say, don't tell the cast members because they think I read it. But yeah, it was just for me. I think it was better to create a character um, and to fill him, and I think some people were pleased with that.
For you, because you said that you think it's like kind of a minor role, it kind of in the scripts it kind of allows you to play with and experiment with him, flesh him out more how you kind of want to, which
Yeah.
I think is good for you as like a character actor. Can you share any details that you created yourself or discussed with others as to Kieran's backstory and upbringing? Like any maybe details about his family, his childhood, maybe what his parents do, because everyone at the school except for like Ruby, they come from wealth.
Yeah, no, for me, Kieran definitely does not come from wealth. This is why I think he identifies with Ruby very much because um, I actually talked about there's the scene with the chickens where they all fly away, and then you can see Kieran in his casual outfits, and it's just very, very well, he's not wealthy. I think this is what they were trying to portray. And for me, it's also clear that he did not come from this wealth and also had to work his way up to save himself a place in the school. And I think that's why he also respects Ruby so much, because he knows what it takes to get there. And I think that's beautiful that not so many characters actually are experienced can experience this hardship like Ruby and Kieran can.
That's a really like interesting take on that because I didn't really notice like it's not really discussed in the show. Although in that episode, in episode 4, it is mentioned that his family has some kind of farm. Maybe his family kind of is working class, but they do own maybe some property. Maybe they sell some things.
No, yeah, I think, but I still think Kieran um, had to work academically, to get this scholarship, and I don't think the family was helping that much. I mean, when they're farmers, that's all he can do, and he's always, trying everything in his power to help Ruby. So that's why in this case, the farming was just very convenient for him to impress her, which in the end didn't work out that bad. That
in your words, how would you describe Kieran? Like, what are his main personality traits? What does he really like kind of value in life? Because you mentioned, getting into character and he was kind of different from your own. What did you really want to focus on in your portrayal?
I think Kieran is very hardworking, loyal, but also clumsy. Uh, yeah, I incorporated this so much. Like he's just clumsy because he has so many things to think about. He has to earn his place in the school, and then he's also like a key role in the committee. And all of this doesn't matter when he sees Ruby because then everything's just falls out of place. And yeah, I think it's also what makes him very likable. It's relatable, and for me, it's the same. Like when I like someone, a girl, and then sometimes I'm just lost for words and I do stupid things. And I think yeah, it's the way because Kieran loves her so much. He just forgets himself sometimes.
And we see moments of that kind of throughout the show. You mentioned like the comedic moments, comedic timing. There's that scene where they're toasting to Ruby and Oxford, and then Kieran's voice cracks, and he knows it like immediately. I thought that was such a
Yeah,
funny kind of moment in the show, and for you, it must just be like he's so embarrassed in those moments.
yeah, he knows.
Kieran is on the event committee with Ruby and Lynn, as you mentioned. So, do you think that he joined the committee to spend more time with Ruby, or is he actually passionate about organizing events, maybe a bit of both?
No, I think he takes pride in. I think he actually wants to help like the world, and this is what he aspires to do in the future. And this is like the first step for him. So I think it was his idea to join the committee, and it really really helps that Ruby is there too, because the motivation is skyrockets. And yeah, I think maybe that's even where they met in the event committee, and maybe that's why he's also so dramatically engaged.
With Ruby, like you mentioned, he kind of likes her because they kind of come from a similar background in terms of working class and having to work hard. What else do you think he likes about Ruby? Like what does he kind of see in her and maybe her potential as well?
Yeah, well, Ruby, the difference between Kieran and Ruby, I think they come from the same place, but Ruby really is a leader, and she solves the problems where Kieran often is overwhelmed with stuff. And I think this inspires him because she is great, and he sees her greatness, and he's actually the first one to see her greatness. And because for everyone else, in season one, Ruby is invisible, but not for Kieran. Like he sees that the quality of her leadership, and I think that's what he's lacking, and that's why he's so in awe of her abilities.
I love that. That's such a accurate thing to say about, the overwhelm versus a bit more leadership. And it's kind of you also find it attractive because it's something that you aspire to be in your own life as well.
Yeah.
What can you say about Kieran's friendship with Lynn? Like how long do you imagine they've known each other for? Was it just the event committee? Because they do spend kind of a lot of time together as well, like at some of these parties and galas.
Mm. Yeah, this kind of established that Lynn and Kieran are very close friends, and I think this is not a friendship that's only from the event committee. I think they because she's such a good friend, and I think she's so she has a feel for people. And Kieran seems like a guy that's all like he also could sit alone, like in a corner, just doing his studies. And Lynn would be the person to come up to him and invite him for a coffee or something. And I think this or something like this could be the story how they met, like apart from the event committee.
I think Ruby and Lynn, they kind of have talks about it though, that Lynn, maybe something happened with her family, like her parents divorced, and then she started kind of talking to Ruby. So I'm wondering that if it happened around the same time with Kieran as well, where she kind of like maybe started looking at other friend
Looking at broke
options.
people.
I know, I'm feeling a bit
Oh,
more kind of
look at that.
sympathy or
They're broke
empathy.
too.
Yeah, I
No,
mean,
no, no.
it's sad to think about, but they kind of
I do not
established
want to
that
think about this.
even Lynn
Kieran,
said
Kieran does not think Lynn is a nice person. She would not. She would never do that.
he probably like it was if it came up, he'd be like, nope, push that thought down. Like she has to like
Push
me
that thought
for
down.
me. But they're so cute and they had that cute little dance at the welcome party as well. So was that written in the script? Like did you
No,
and
that was already in the moment.
so you and
Yeah.
Andrea did that spontaneously or
Yes, that was very very spontaneous. We had the idea like when when we have this huge scenes with so many extras, there's a lot of waiting time, and in the meantime we came up with a little stuff, you know, that we tried to incorporate, and some of the stuff maybe was too silly or maybe too minor, and this was just the right amount, and yeah, Martin loved it, so we we incorporated that.
a little bit of improv. I love that they kept that in for the show. Take me through the welcome party in episode one. Like I know you filmed a while ago, but is there anything that you remember from filming the party scenes and notably Kieran's moment in the chair with the stripper after he saves Ruby?
Which was actually also not written in the script. Yeah, it was supposed to be I think it was supposed to be Rector Lexington that, you know, like that gets danced on, but not Kieran, you know, being the rescuer. Um, but yeah, it's also my favorite moment, definitely, if, when they crash the party, and Kieran tries to, you know, step in, but once again doesn't go well.
So he tries playing hero in that scene, and your scream, like in terror, was so funny because it came through so well through like when I was watching it. But for Kieran, like, what do you think he's feeling in that moment? Because he kind of came in, got Ruby out of there, and
Oh,
then to
for him
see
it's serious. He's never experienced this before. It's definitely serious. Like, yeah, no man ever came this close to him naked.
he was so uncomfortable. But to see Ruby and Lynn just leave him there, I thought that was hilarious because it's like, thanks for having my back, friends.
Yeah. I mean, I maybe they're used to Kieran being stepped on, you know.
It's like, how do you think he got out of that situation?
Maybe he didn't.
In episode two, we start to see the rivalry between Kieran and James for Ruby's affection and within the event committee. Take me through the scene where James insults the Hitchcock energy in Kieran's poster and his black and white theme. Like, what is Kieran feeling during that moment towards James and overall?
Those stings, those stings. Well, I think, you know, Kieran's opinion to James is like the initial feelings that Ruby had towards him. They're coming from the same place. It's the fact that Kieran put that like had put so much effort in this idea and this poster. Like, you know, he stayed up till 3 a.m. and then this guy comes and says, you know, let me just draw something spectacular, and everyone agrees with me. It's frustrating, very frustrating. And the most frustrating part is that he's right. It was a success and it was the better idea. So, um, yeah, it's just the way he, you know, he portrayed that. Kieran didn't like that.
I mean, no one likes to feel like less than or kind of put down. So, like you mentioned, deep down, Kieran knows that
Did
it's
you
the
feel the
better idea.
betrayal that when Lynn did not raise her hand for the black and white? That was crazy to me.
And like a
Even when we
knife to
shot
Kieran's
the
back, right?
I know, right? And I think in the script it wasn't even like specifically mentioned if she raises her hand or not. And then I was shocked on the day when we shot it, and maybe Martin told her like do not raise your hand. But I was like, why you're not raising your hand? What's happening there? It's like, because Kieran would definitely always discuss this idea with Lynn, you know.
So it's one of
Yeah.
those things where it's probably like a little disappointment there to add on to the fact that,
Yes.
you know, James is there and in the first place. I have to say that poster design, when you saw it for the first time, what were your thoughts aside from Kieran? Because I felt like it was a very abstract,
I was like,
look.
it's a bit mid. It was my thought. It's like mid at best.
It looked like people were falling through a vortex, in my opinion. So there
Uh,
was definitely that
well, but this,
Hitchcock
yeah, I
energy.
think it goes well with him because there's so much on his mind that maybe he gets lost in thought sometimes, and then something like this comes out, and I get the idea. I have to get the idea. Um, yeah, it deserved a chance at least, though. Like everyone was against it. That was not cool. That was not cool.
Why do you think that Kieran does not like James in terms of like, why do you think he sees him as a bad fit for Ruby?
I think up to now he just hasn't seen the good sides of him. He's always seen his public persona, like the Beaufort, and not the James. But I think once he gets to know the good sides of him, maybe his opinion is going to change. So yeah, he just hasn't seen that yet. And I mean, we all know that this side is not really, nice sometimes.
You see the popular kids at school, right? And you don't really know them. It's only like you mentioned, he sees like the Beaufort name, and that's everything that
Yeah,
like Kieran is not as well.
exactly. Yeah, there's going to be some frustration and jealousy too, but I think in especially in the first episode, like the way he carries himself, it's like everything that Kieran is not, and um, yeah, he just hasn't seen him yet like that.
Episode 4 has we were just talking about that a bit earlier, the Partridge incident, thanks to Kieran. I mean, how do you think this mix-up happened where he ordered crates of live birds? Like, where did it go wrong?
I mean, yeah, he didn't specify, I guess, when he made that call. um, yeah, that was just a huge fuck up on my part. I'm sorry. Sorry,
Yeah,
Ruby.
on Kieran's part, but I mean, it made for obviously in the script like funny moments. How was it to film with the partridges? Like watching you all run around the courtyard was so great for the episode.
I don't know if you know this, but this was actually a disaster for a day because what's it called again? The birds.
Partridge.
Partridge. Okay, so we had the partridges, and we were told they cannot fly away. They're unable to fly. They're just gonna, or they fly like this. They're not gonna fly like this. And then Harriet releases the cage, and they fly like this. It's crazy. Every partridge flew away, and we had to bring in the crates and just film something. I had to hope they just stick there for a while so we can shoot it. It was so funny though because like for the team it was dead serious. They were, what are we gonna do? We have to we have to plan it another day, and we were just having fun. We're like, yes, freedom, get that freedom, go. And yeah, it was very funny at first. But then I heard like they're probably not going to survive in the wilderness because they're not trained. And then yeah, I just hope they're well right now.
Did some of them actually get loose, or you were able to get most of them
Most of
back?
them
Okay.
got loose. Most of them are lost.
Oh my
They
goodness.
just flew over the walls of Maxton Hall. They're in the freedom realm. I'm not kidding. This is no one planned this because they told us they only fly like they cannot fly that high. And Maxton Hall has very high walls, and they conquered them.
They must have really wanted to get free, but like you said, you hope that they're well, or they're at least together. They really
At least
underestimated how
they
high that they.
underestimated them. Yeah, definitely. I'm glad we got some shots out of there because it was, towards the end we really had, I don't know, maybe like 10, or we had so many partridges, partridges,
Partridges,
partridges,
yeah.
partridges, and most of them just flew away.
You did get to hold some of them on set, like
Yeah.
when Kieran caught them. So what was that like? Well, I mean, were they trying to get away, fly out of your
Yes, it
hands?
broke my heart because they were so scared. I could feel it in my hands, like they were. I think this is also why they could fly, because their adrenaline was just so high. They weren't used to like maybe getting moved around. And yeah, that was actually not that cool. But that's why I was so excited when they actually got loose. And I still hope that they survived that.
You're like freedom for the
Freedom,
partridges.
freedom for the partridges.
I mean, I'm guessing they won't make an appearance in future seasons because of that. But I
Maybe in
mean,
the
it did.
background, some partridges just flying
I know, and they
over.
happen to be the ones from the first season, so you never know. How
We're
was
gonna see.
the Victorian themed donor gala to film? Is there anything specific you remember from the set decoration? Because they really went all out and made Maxton Hall look fantastic. And what was it like to dress up for that era?
Oh my God, I love the costumes in Maxton Hall, like in general. It's so crazy to see, like for myself, but also for everyone else. It's always a blast and a surprise to see what everyone is wearing, and the extras too. It was just crazy. And when we get the crazy outfits for the Victorian dresses, it's like you feel good. It's something else you're wearing does something to you. And yeah, I always love that, and I hope that in season two we also gonna have like these moments where we have so many costumes that look cool, because I also think it just looks nice, you know.
It's always fun to dress up for a
So
theme,
fun,
and you
so
kind of
fun.
had the Victorian. It was like the necktie or the they call it like the
Yeah,
cravat that you got to wear.
here, right here, where I took the photo with the Ruby and Lynn. Yeah, well, it was something different. I enjoyed it.
For Kieran, like obviously you don't wear glasses. So what was it like to kind of put on the glasses? Did it feel very much like the Clark Kent Superman where you put on the glasses and you're a different person? Like was that the thing to turn your character on and off?
Yes, yes, definitely. When I put on the glasses, I feel like I move differently. The same with the whole costumes, like the school uniforms just does something to you, and shoes as well, like the way you walk when you have different shoes on. But actually, I do wear glasses. Or I used to wear glasses. I'm having contacts every day since I don't know, I was 12 or something, because I have actually have very bad eyes, and I have to wear very thick glasses, and they're too heavy for me. I have like -8 dioptrin. Let's say it's bad. It's bad, and the glasses are too heavy, so that's why I wear contacts. So it was not that strange to wear glasses again, because I used to wear them. Yeah, in my childhood, I used to have glasses. But yeah, when I put them off, it's different than when I put them on.
At the donor gala, at this point, he knows that Ruby and James, they like each other. Kieran still longingly looks at Ruby from afar. Does he genuinely think that he still has a chance with her?
I think this is now where it might shift, and I think for him it would be a good idea to let go. And maybe I think this could be some an aspect of his character development, to learn to let go, because yeah, I mean, it still feels weird to say, because I like in the role I still have hope for him, but I think this is something he has to overcome eventually, and learn to let her go. And yeah, he's maybe it's gonna be hard for him, but maybe this is where it has to shift.
Andrea, and it was like I think it was episode 1. It was so cute when she was doing like that heart behind, and Kieran was so oblivious because, like you
I
mentioned,
didn't
he
know.
could be doing these things, like looking at her, and he doesn't even realize like
Yes.
how kind of desperate he looks.
Uh, that's a thing. Often he doesn't realize how he's you know looking or what he's doing and how others perceive him. But that's fine. I think that's really a part of him
Yeah, that's a
and
part of his character. It's like kind of the
a part of his character.
unassuming, the sweet kind of um
Yeah,
guy.
just very very simple simple guy.
So Kieran was noticeably absent from the Oxford trip in episode 6. It is mentioned earlier on that he gets a recommendation letter from a teacher, Miss Hugh. So I thought he was in the same year as the others. So why wasn't he on the trip? Like, was his plan to go elsewhere? Can you tell me a bit about that?
Yeah, that's crazy that you say that because in my I think he is a year younger, and that's why he didn't get in. But that's true. He did get a recommendation, maybe for next year or something. Because I asked this, and they told me like he's a year younger than the rest, and I was like, damn, that's why I didn't get to Oxford. Why wasn't I there?
I could see him being like a year younger, not too far off, because he also isn't in some of the classes that the others are in. So it
Yeah,
was kind of like I was thinking, is he a year younger? But he got a recommendation letter. So maybe he's just getting it very, very early. He's pre-planning like the
he
go-getter
is a
that he
pre-planner. Yeah,
is.
he loves to plan.
Congratulations on the season 2 renewal. It happened very quickly after the season 1 premiere. What would you like to explore with Kieran in the future? I know you kind of touched on it a bit about maybe letting go, but is there anything
Yeah.
else you'd like to see from him, maybe at school?
I mean, I would love to. I would love for him to find his happiness, if that be to find self-love or to learn to let go, or maybe another love interest. I'm open for these things, but I don't think this is how it can, continue with Ruby because it's hard, but I think something has to happen for him, and he has to see that change. And as I said, like maybe it's just gonna be self love and respect, and realizing that she's not gonna be the one, and that's fine.
I mean, you could pitch to the writers. He could become a bit more edgy to win over Ruby. He could ride a motorcycle because I know that you can ride in real life.
I say this every day as a joke, but it's not really a joke. Um, that would be so cool. Just have one scene where Kieran rides with a motorcycle. I still think he needs some cool, unexpected skill, and I'm brainstorming. I have many ideas, but I don't wanna say them just yet because maybe they're gonna be incorporated. And that's actually, you said it. It is still a very very good idea with a motorcycle. Yeah, and I do ride my motorcycle every day, and I
How
love
long
it.
have you been riding for?
2 years now. Yeah, 2 years, and I don't think I'm gonna stop.
That
It's
must
like
be
the
like an adrenaline rush. I mean, it's obviously one of those things like the speed, and I don't know if you like go down the highways and things like that.
Yeah, but not I don't like the highways that much, but just riding around nature, that's the fun bits, and it's just the ultimate feeling of freedom. I was in Thailand this year, and I rented a motorcycle, and it was like the beach to my left, elephants to my right, a girl in the back, and this was the feeling. It's the greatest feeling ever, like ultimate freedom. And
And it
maybe
must
Kieran can experience that too.
you're like, I want him to feel what I felt in that moment
I want
in
him to
Thailand.
feel it.
Are there any other storylines, specific storylines you're looking forward to seeing more of in season 2 from any of the other characters?
um, well, I mean, the first book is called Save Me, so that refers to Ruby, and I think the second season is called Save You. So I'm really looking forward to seeing more of James and more of how he um, grows. And I hope that Kieran also gets an opportunity to see his growth and to appreciate his growth. So yeah, I'd be looking forward to that if that's possible.
Yeah, also with James and Lydia and the loss of their mother as well, seeing how that grief is explored because we only get that
Exactly. I mean,
tidbit at the final
we ended on a
episode.
cliffhanger. Yeah, everyone wants to know, like, how is he dealing with that?
Take me behind the scenes. Like, had you known any of the other cast members prior to filming? Because I know that you mentioned Andrea, but you didn't know each other. So did you know anyone else? No.
No, I didn't know. I don't think I knew anyone. Like, but it feels so weird because now it feels like I've known them forever. But no, actually, I was also out. Everyone already knew each other, and I was like the last guy to join the crew. Because I think I joined in August, and they were filming. I think they began in June, and I was like, everyone already knew each
You
other,
were
and I
the
was like,
new
I'm
kid on the
coming.
block.
I'm the new kid on the block. It's always tough. But it was really not tough this time because everyone was so welcoming, and it was, you know, it feels weird actually that just that I just met them on set. But yeah, fun fact actually now Harriet is also on the Where's the Wonder show, the Apple one. Yeah,
So we
so
get to
that's
see the two of
because
you together there.
in that project she was like the one I knew obviously from Maxton Hall. I was like, it's always good actually to know someone when you start a project. But now, I mean, when we're doing season two, obviously everyone's gonna know everyone, so it's also very comforting.
What do you do together to build that chemistry, whether it was on set or off set?
I mean, we always like do anything. We had a hotel, and we could play pool. There was a pool table, and me and Andrea, we always played pool after shooting, or we would, as you know, the cast members would go eat at an Italian restaurant and just hang around, or hang around in the hotel rooms, like on a class trip. This is the best feeling. It's just like you're playing a character in school again, and then you're also feeling like you're in school again. Like you have the hotel, everyone is in the same hotel, and then we meet like in the same room, and that's really the real fun bits of shooting.
You did have a very talented ensemble cast led by Harriet and Damian as Ruby and James.
Yeah,
So, putting your character, putting Kieran's feelings aside, like what can you say about the two of them as people and as leaders of the show through their layered characters?
I think they're doing an amazing job, and I think I mean I'm very grateful that they're carrying this show, in my opinion, because they're so authentic. And yeah, and these they have these highly emotional scenes um that obviously I uh, read them in the script, but I never saw them acted out. And then we had this private screening, where the cast members, we all came together to watch the show for the first time. I was so like proud and happy that it turned out so good, and was just very, very exciting to see, because most of the scenes that are so intense was just the two of them. And especially Kieran, he doesn't see, as I said, he doesn't see that side of James. Um, yeah, so that was very, very exciting to see for the first time, as I remember.
And you mentioned working with two different directors in season one, Martin and Tarek. So, what can you say about watching them work behind the camera and what you learned by working with them? Because every time you work with a new director, there are kind of little things that you kind of might pick up on.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think they, especially for my scenes, they were very invested, obviously, with Harriet and James. But what I really liked is the way that they made me feel like comfortable in what I'm doing. And he was like always like, I like what you're doing. Maybe try like this and this and this. And both of them were yeah, just gave me a really like warm feeling and very, very confident in what I'm doing. And that I don't have to shy away from trying different things like the dance, you know. And they were very I felt very free in my interpretation of the character.
That's wonderful to have that support and being able to experiment, because there's nothing worse as an actor and as an artist, I'm sure, to feel like you're closed off and you can't kind of let loose and try new things. Tell me about the fan support and messages that you've seen and received since the show's release, and what has that support meant to you?
Crazy, crazy. I never received so many messages on Instagram. People all around the world, like India, Brazil, Argentina, Canada, are commenting, and I'm just feeling very grateful that everyone is watching our show, and it really hasn't sunk in yet that just people all around the world, you know, appreciate that show so much, and even like, you know, obviously James and Ruby, but also Kieran is getting so much love, and I didn't expect it when I saw the show. I was like, yeah, this is such a great show, but I didn't expect like also you like you're so invested and you've done your homework, and I appreciate it, and I appreciate you like inviting me and the support I'm receiving, and yeah, it's really a blessing that we can be a part of it.
So for the cast, like I'm sure you talk about, oh, this is going to be on Amazon Prime Video, it's going to go out to the world, but what were your expectations? I mean, did all of you think that it would only maybe be popular in Germany?
Yeah, I mean, I was like, yeah, it's gonna be blah blah blah, and then it actually was blah blah blah. Um, Now I just, you know, when we first said this is gonna be a huge thing, and this is all I heard, and was like, all right, let's calm down a bit. I mean, it's very good, but like, oh, and then if it's actually a big deal, then we're just gonna be happy and surprised, and that's exactly how I felt, and this is how it turned out. I was just pleasantly surprised. It was crazy the way it blew up.
Gotten quite a bit of love on TikTok as well. I know you've kind of posted some TikTok since the release, and there's so many
I have
comments
to,
on each one.
yeah. Crazy the TikTok edits. I actually re-downloaded the app. I deleted it a while ago, and then someone told me like you have some TikTok edits. I was like, no way, I have to see it. And then ever since then, I um yeah, I have TikTok again.
The fans got you back on TikTok.
The fans got me back on TikTok. Yeah, it's crazy.
We will go through some tweets now. So if you
Oh yes.
have your phone ready.
Okay, I've just finished watching Maxton Hall, and oh God, I love it when a cliche story is done well. Is it anything new? No, it isn't. But the chemistry and all the cast can act finally, and there aren't cringe scenes with dialogues that make you vomit. It was really good. Well, I agree. um, yeah, I think he's right. It's actually it is the story that was told over and over again, but that's what makes it so beautiful. You know, it's just simple. It's a simple love story, and yeah, the way everyone is doing their acting part is really really great. I mean, as well, like Harriet and Damian really carrying here. Okay, do 4 episodes. I am, I guess, 4 episodes into Maxton Hall, and so far I'm loving it. James Wolford, oh my fucking god, the man that you are. But there's this another side character, Kieran, who I can't keep my eyes off. Like, he's so cute. Why is no one talking about him? Oh, thank you. I mean, I think some people are talking about it. But yeah, I appreciate the support. If you watched Maxton Hall and still didn't like it or thought it was bad, you watched it wrong. I'm sorry to say. Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. These are all so good. Do we have any negative comments about the show? No, we don't.
We're
Okay.
all about love for the show here.
That's good. That's great. I mean, I also have love for the show, and I agree with all of them. I mean, how can you watch it wrong though? I'd be interested in someone explaining why they think the show is bad. Just watched Maxton Hall, and I'm sorry, but if someone offered me that much money, I'd take it and be on my fuck pride, on my way. Oh yeah, fuck pride. Yeah. Um, this is crazy because so many people think that as well, and I'm not sure. I would be very tempted by that money, to be
I
honest.
know. I'd
Maybe
be asking, what do you think
yeah.
Kieran would do in that situation? Kind of coming from this, oh, maybe he could do that, use that money and do something with it. Like if he had
But I
walked
think he
in.
would, he wouldn't accept it, and then he would try James Beaufort to leave, and then like when he's not watching, he would just scram the money, and it would like do a heroic speech of not accepting money from a Beaufort, and then when he doesn't look, he's like, just a bit, just a bit. Oh, there's a picture. I got my eyes on Kieran. He looks like a mix of Jeremiah and Harry Potter, right? Okay, who is Jeremiah?
That
Uh,
is from, I'm pretty sure it's the Summer I Turned Pretty, if you've heard of that show. It's on
I
Amazon
heard of
Prime
it. Yes, I
Video
heard
as
of it.
well.
I
Yeah.
think it gets compared to our show as well sometimes, right? No?
It's like a love triangle show. So I
Oh,
mean,
okay.
you could think
Uh,
about it in a sense. It's like another kind of coming of age young adult show. Yeah.
Interesting. So, and Jeremiah Fisher plays a part in that. Maybe I've seen a picture of him. But yeah, the Harry Potter one I get. Yeah, the Harry Potter one I get a lot with the glasses.
Are you a Harry Potter fan?
Oh yeah, I love Harry Potter. Um, not like a diehard fan, but I really appreciate. Once again, I love fantasy. Fantasy is great. Max Nahal got me crying, kicking my feet, and screaming at the same time. Season 2, I cannot wait for you. Same, I cannot wait for season 2. Oh, Jesus. Um, yeah, this was me in the screening room when everyone was watching it. I mean, we were all crying in the seats and kicking and screaming. No, we weren't screaming. We weren't screaming, but inside I was screaming.
How has the waiting period been? Because it's
Uh,
also such a long wait between when you film and when the show comes out. So during that
yeah,
period, like how
I mean,
restless do you get?
we shot this 2 years ago now, and you kind of forget about it, and you go on to other projects, and now it's come out, and I'm glad that we're like season 2 is announced as well, because now we're in the game again. Like we watching it again, and people are talking about it, and you just get into the world a little bit more. And this is gonna be actually the first time that I'm returning to a character. Um, so that's gonna be a challenge as well, because we all grew like 2 years. All we are all 2 years older, and yeah, it's gonna. I mean, maybe people are gonna notice. I don't know, the costume and makeup department have to do a great job, so we all look the
De-age
same.
you just a little bit because yeah, I'm sure that between maybe the first and second seasons, like there couldn't be too much of a time jump, but I'm not familiar with the books because unfortunately they haven't been released
Yeah.
in English yet or adapted into English. But
Oh,
I'm
really?
I'm
Mm.
excited to see what happens, and it's really, I mean, a great kind of accomplishment for you to come back and return to a character as well.
Yeah, yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's a challenge, but very fun, I think.
We have a couple more questions for you. Who are you listening to on your playlist? I'm not sure if this is related to those music festivals we talked about earlier, but I
Mm.
mean, who are some of your favorite music artists, genres, songs, if you have most played songs on Spotify?
Uh, I I don't know that off by heart, like most played, but I mean, I did talk about the festivals. I seen Kendrick Lamar twice now. He was in Berlin in the Mercedes-Benz Arena, and I love Kendrick Lamar. And yeah, Kieran is probably not that rap hip hop kind of guy, but I love it. And other than that, I also love alternative rap and indie rock. I actually also listen to like Olivia Dean and Olivia Rodrigo. I've been to the Olivia Dean concert. There was also Olivia Rodrigo too. I didn't get tickets, but I was at the Olivia Dean in Berlin. That was like 2 weeks ago or something, and that was really fantastic. Love her music.
I think it's nice to kind of be familiar with all these different genres, like not kind of pigeonhole yourself to a specific one, but
No,
to like
yeah.
have such a good broad, yeah.
Every genre has potential, I think.
And our signature question for you, if you could be any ice cream flavor, which would you be and why?
I think mango, but that's I don't think. Can I explain that? I mean, mango is kind of orange, and I associate with the color orange. I mean, it's just such a warm color, you know. Even though mango is kind of yellow, so but it's sweet and fruity and just tropical. I love mango. It's by far my favorite ice cream flavor.
And
Yeah.
it's perfect for the summer as well.
Perfect for the summer as well, yes. I
That's
wonder what Kieran's ice cream flavor would be. I'll have to think about it.
Yeah, you'll think about it. You can get back to me in the
I'll
future.
think
Maybe
about it and get back to you.
next time we talk for season 2. But until then,
Yes.
thank you so much for taking the time to chat. It's been such a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Of
Thanks.
course. Well, we'll catch up again. But until then, for all those watching, you can catch Frederic in Maxton Hall, The World Between Us. Season 1 is streaming worldwide on Amazon Prime Video, and we will see you next time.
Thank you, Chloe. Bye bye.